students, this is Moa ma'am again with a science teaching learning video. Today the chapter which I am going to discuss is chapter number 10, a new chapter which is about respiration in organisms. Right? At first, let me tell you what topics to be covered in this chapter. Means what are the learning objectives. It contains introduction, types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, breathing in cockroach, breathing in earthworm, breathing in aquatic animals, and respiration in plants. Right? So all these things we will cover up in this particular chapter. So today's video is part 1. Now let's go to the chapter. Now students, you know that all living organisms need energy to do work, right? We all need energy to do any type of work. And energy is required to perform various functions of life. What are those functions which requires energy? Like nutrition, excretion, growth, movement, transportation and reproduction. Right? Without energy, organisms cannot do any work. Even when you are reading any book, you need energy. So we require energy even when we are sleeping, eating, running or doing any type of physical activities. Right? And that energy we are getting from what? Means you know that cells need to burn glucose to get energy. And for this the cells need oxygen which the bloods bring to them. So where does the blood get oxygen from? Blood get oxygen from the air we breathe in. So I am coming to that point. Before, let me tell you one thing. Our body is doing various activities like breathing, heart beating, digestion of food, absorption of food by the body cells, etc. etc. And all these activities are many more are also requiring energy. Means many more activities also require energy, right? But when does this energy come from? Means where does this energy comes from? Yes, this energy comes from the food that we are eating. Now in this chapter you will learn about the process called respiration. Means the respiration is a process which converts energy stored in food into a form which the body can use. Right? Let me tell you one fact. Do you know, students? Every minute you breathe in 30 pints, and 1 pint, P-I-N-T, means 0.473 liters of air. Another important thing is cigarette smoke contains over 4,800 chemicals. Means 65 of such chemicals are known to cause cancer. So if you find anybody is smoking, you tell him not to smoke as it causes cancer, right? Because 69 cells are causing cancers. 69 chemicals which are present in the cigarette causes cancer. Then more than half a liter of water per day is lost through breathing. When we are breathing, we are losing this much amount of water every day. Means half liter, 500 milliliter of water every day. Right? Now, let me tell you one example that if you try, sometimes you are also trying, I think, while playing, that if you try to hold your breath, it is not possible to do so for more than a few seconds. Right? After that, we gasp for air and take a long breath. Now, let us understand why breathing is necessary. And why do we breathe faster while running, playing, climbing stairs, means exercising, right? So we use another term. I am introducing here another term, that is respiration. Are these two terms, breathing and respiration, same? So students, in this chapter there will be a detailed discussion on breathing and respiration, right? Now the question is, why do we breathe in air? We all know that we breathe it in with our nose. Then the space in the nose is called the nasal cavity, right? Once we inhale air through our nose, then it enters into our nasal cavity. Then start to take do this activity, students. Everybody please do this activity of breathing, then you will understand. Start to take a deep breath and breathe in for 5 seconds. Hold it in for 5 seconds and then breathe out slowly for 5 seconds. You have to observe at that time that your chest, for these 15 seconds, what do you see? Now, we know that the air that we are breathing in goes to the chest. We all know that. And where in the chest does it go into? It goes into the lungs. The air that we are breathing, it goes into our lungs. Now, the heart in the chest too. So, we are the positions of the heart and the lungs. Now, see this one. The heart is in the front of the lungs, right? This diagram is showing that heart is present in front of the lungs. The lungs on the left is a bit smaller than one on the right. Means the left lung, size of the left lung is smaller than that of the right. Right? And that leaves a room for the heart. Now, the space in the chest cavity is called, means in the chest, the space which is there is called the chest cavity. Right? The chest cavity has heart and lungs. So, our chest cavity is containing what? Heart and lungs. Now, see here, the lungs are connected to the nose through a pipe. And this pipe is called windpipe, right? So, this is the pipe through which the air we breathe in and out flows. Means when we are inhaling air, it passes through this windpipe and then it enters into the lungs. As well as when we are exhaling out, when we are throwing out air, again it passes through this windpipe and comes out through our nose. Now look at this windpipe. It branches out like a tree. Means once air passes through the windpipe, it enters into the lungs. So what is present inside the lungs? It is like a tree which are having so many thinner and thinner tubes. And these tubes are called bronchi. That means when the windpipe, through the windpipe air is coming inside and it divides into two branches and that ends into so many tiny branches. And these tubes are called bronchi. So the tubes in the windpipe, these tubes are called bronchi, and the tiniest one, which are also, the pipes are bronchi, it divides into two parts, that is bronchi. Again it is divided into so many thin tubes. These are called bronchioles, which are looking like hairs over here. Now what is present at the end of the bronchioles? Those bronchioles ends into these type of air sacs. As you can see here, these balls are called air sacs, which are called alveoli, right? So there are like small balloons that fill up with air when we are breathing it. These alveoli becomes inflated like a balloon, right, when we are breathing in. Now at the end of the bronchioles are very small air sacs which are called alveoli, right? There are about 60,000 of these in our lungs. 60,000 alveoli, these small balls, we have 60,000 in our lungs. That's where the air we breathe in goes into. Now alveoli is the plural form, singular form is alveolus, right, as you can see here. Now the wall of each alveolus is very thin and it is covered with, as you can see here in the picture, the wall is covered by capillaries, blood capillaries. Now the question is, how thin are the capillaries that cover the alveolus? Now these are super thin. The cell have to form a single line inside. The air can pass to and fro through these thin walls. Now, what happens when we breathe? We know that we are breathing through the nose. There are tiny hair-like things in our nose that through that the air is passing through, and those hairs are doing what? They are not allowing the dust particles to go inside. Right? So the hair warms the air and keeps out the dirt. They are not allowing the dirt particles to go inside. Now, as we breathe in, our lungs get bigger. You just try to inhale one, students, everybody. You can understand that your lungs becoming bigger. The ribs lift up and out to make the place fit for the lungs to become bigger. Means ribs which are present in our body, those ribs are allowing the lungs to become bigger. The air then from here goes into the windpipe and then into the bronchi and then bronchioles. Bronchi are where the air tubes you have seen divided into two parts. Those are bronchi, and where it divides into so many tiny hair-like structures, those are bronchioles, and every bronchioles end into air sacs, which is alveoli. Now the lungs now have air that has mostly carbon dioxide, right? This air has to be sent out of the body, because when we are inhaling air, we are inhaling oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. Now the oxygen we are utilizing and carbon dioxide we are again releasing out, right? So we breathe out this carbon dioxide air and complete a breathing cycle. Now, how do the lungs actually get bigger when we breathe in air? As you can see here. Now, can you see a red mark is given, a red arrow is given that shows a muscle over there which is called diaphragm. Now, when you breathe in, the diaphragm flattens out and makes space for the lungs to grow bigger. The ribs also moves up and outwards. When we are breathing in air, ribs are moving up and outwards, giving the lungs the space to become bigger. That makes more room for the lungs to expand as well. Now you have learned since you were little that we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Now you even know how and where the actual gas exchange takes place. So there is an experiment, just look at it. About the name lime water you all heard, right? So lime water is a liquid that is usually clear. Okay, it is not lemon juice. Through the name, make you think so, and it's absolutely not okay to taste it or drink it. Don't do it. Don't taste or drink lime water. Now, what you have to do is, lime water has a special property. As I have discussed about lime water in the last chapters, they have special property. It turns milky when carbon dioxide dissolves in it. So how can you pass carbon dioxide gas? What you have to do is, in a glass, you need to take some lime water. You have already done this experiment, and also again I am telling you this. You need to take a glass with lime water and put a straw in it. Breathe out into the lime water using the straw. That means when we are breathing out what? Carbon dioxide gas. So after some times you will see that the lime water turns milky. As in the case of third test, you can see that lime water turns milky when you are passing carbon dioxide gas from your mouth. Now this is because the carbon dioxide that we breathe out dissolves in the lime water, right? So by this experiment we can verify that air that we exhale does contain carbon dioxide. Now, you know that our body takes in oxygen from the air that we are inhaling and adds carbon dioxide to the air that we are exhaling, right? Does it take all the oxygen out? You know that the air that we breathe in contains 21% oxygen, and the air that we are breathing out contains 16.4% oxygen, right? This you should know. So the body uses only that much of the oxygen from the air we breathe in one cycle. Similarly, that we breathe in contains 0.04% carbon dioxide. Means the air that we are breathing in, the carbon dioxide that is entering, that contains, that percentage of that carbon dioxide is 0.04%. So what do you think happens to that percentage when we are breathing out? Obviously, when we are breathing out, it increases. Right? Now I am coming to the main topic. This is about at the time of breathing what is happening in our body. Now I am coming to the topic about breathing and respiration. So we often use breathing and respiration interchangeably, but actually these two terms does not mean the same. These two terms are totally different, right? Breathing is a part of respiration, but respiration is not a part of breathing. Right, let me explain you, then you will understand. Breathing refers to exchange of gases between an organism and the environment. Okay, again I am telling, breathing is the exchange of gases between an organism, means between you and the environment. And respiration refers to breakdown of food in the cells to release energy. Breathing is not giving us energy, but respiration, with the help of respiration, food is broken down, food that you are eating is broken down and it releases energy. That energy our cells are utilizing to do any type of activities. Correct? Now, you have already learned that all living things are made up of cells. This you know. And a cell is performing number of function. We in our body, we have millions of cells. And every cell is performing different functions. Right? Like functions like nutrition, transportation, secreting chemicals, etc. etc. And to perform all these functions, a cell needs what? Energy. Right? So a cell gets its energy by breaking down the food present in it. And this process of release of energy by breaking down of food in the cells is called respiration. So respiration means breaking down of food. The food that you are eating is broken down with the help of what? With the help of oxygen. Oxygen helps to break down those food particles. That gives the product as we are getting energy. Right? So for respiration, the oxygen that is needed is taken in by breathing. Right? So breathing is just taking in air and giving out air. Easy, students, right? So breathing is what? Taking in air and giving out air. But respiration is what? Release of energy by breaking down the food in the cells. Right? Now, I hope it is clear about the difference between breathing and respiration. Let me tell you more so that it will make you more clear. Breathing is simply what? Exchange of gases where an organism takes in oxygen from the environment and releases carbon dioxide to the environment. Clear the definition of breathing? Breathing is what? Exchange of gases where an organism takes in oxygen from the environment and releases carbon dioxide to the environment. Right? So breathing is simply taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. This is the work of breathing only. So it is just a physical process that involves inhalation and exhalation. Means breathing includes what? We are inhaling, first it passes through the nostrils. Nostrils, the opening of the nose are called nostrils. Then it passes through the nasal cavity. Then it passes through the windpipe and then it enters our lungs. This is a breathing process. Means taking in and releasing out. And for taking in, nose is needed. Air enters into from the nostrils, passes to the air cavity, then to the windpipe and then into the lungs. Clear? Now different organisms have different organs for breathing. Like we are breathing by lungs. Fishes breathe by gills. Earthworm breathes by their skin. They have earthworm by having moist skin and they are breathing with the help of their moist skin. Now respiration is what? Respiration is a complex process which involves taking in oxygen and utilizing it, means using that oxygen to break down the food to release energy. So what happens during this process? Carbon dioxide is released as a waste product here, which is eliminated from the cells. Right? What I want to say, at the time of breathing, you are taking in oxygen. Now the work of respiration is, by using that oxygen, it helps to break down the food particles that we are eating. And once it breaks down the food particles in the presence of oxygen, it releases what? Carbon dioxide gas and energy. Energy we are utilizing by the cells, and carbon dioxide gas we need to exhale out from our body. So from this you can understand that breathing is a part of respiration, because respiration needs oxygen, and oxygen can be taken in only by the breathing. So breathing is a part of respiration, right? So the process of breaking down of food in the cells to release energy is called cellular respiration, where our cells are getting energy and then we can do any type of activities. That is why the name is given cellular respiration. So it is a chemical process that takes place inside all the cells. Cellular respiration occurs in all the living cells of all organisms. Means in case of both plants and animals. Right? So respiration occurs in, what I said, respiration occurs in two phases. First, breathing, then cellular respiration. Breathing, where exchange of gases between oxygen and environment, and cellular respiration means breaking down food in the cells to release energy. Right? Now the question is, why do we respire? So students, we respire for getting energy. Right? And we need that energy for all the activities like eating, talking, thinking, moving, standing, etc. etc. Even when we are sleeping, our vital organs, like which are our vital organs? Heart, kidney, brain and lungs. They keep working, and various functions of the body like digestion, respiration, circulation, they are taking place. Right? So the energy needed for all these processes is supplied by respiration. So during respiration, food is broken down in the cells and energy is released. Generally what we know, glucose is the main food that is broken down. Right? Now in today's discussion, what is the main point that I want to clear you is, means you need to know, is the difference between breathing and respiration. Right? We are breathing in for getting oxygen as well as releasing carbon dioxide. Only there is to exchange gases between atmosphere and you, breathing is necessary. Right? To take in oxygen and throw out carbon dioxide. Right? This is the normal work. Now respiration is needed for getting energy by the cells. So how they are getting energy? For that, respiration needs breathing, because through the breathing process we are taking in oxygen. That oxygen is utilizing to break down the food particles that we are eating. Once oxygen breaks down the food particles, it releases carbon dioxide gas and energy. That energy which is released by respiration process, our body cells are utilizing those energies for doing the activities. About the activities I have already told you. Whatever activities we are doing, eating, talking, thinking, moving, standing, everything. Our digestion process, respiration process, all these needs energy. Right? So energies we are utilizing to do all the activities of our bodies, whatever our body are doing, and carbon dioxide we need to release out again from the nose. So all these happens during breathing and respiration. From this you can understand that breathing is a part of respiration, but respiration is not a part of breathing. For respiration, breathing is needed to get oxygen. Right? So breathing is a part of respiration. Clear? Now students, that's all for today's discussion. Some homework is there for you. Homework is very easy. First is, why do living organisms need energy and where does this energy come from? Very easy question. Second, define breathing. Third, why do we need oxygen? Fourth, is breathing the same as respiration? So students, after getting these questions, once you see this video, after getting the question, you go through, read your NCERT books. Only I think first 2 pages you have to go through, read NCERT books, go through this video and then answer the questions, write the answers in your class copies. Right? That's all for today's class. I hope you have enjoyed this video. You will enjoy this video, and do comment, write the comments in the comment box whether you have understood or not, or you need more explanation or not. Okay. Thank you everybody.